The school board meeting will begin in 1 minute. Please take your seats. Again, the school board meeting will begin in 1 minute.
Good evening and welcome. The January 13th, 2026 meeting of the Marion County School Board is called to order. Mirroring and modeling the way our students begin each day, I ask that we observe a moment of silence at this time. Please join me. Mirroring, sorry, I got a little thrown off because we got a little off script. Julia and Luke, will you please read the board commitment statement?
We are the Marion County School District Leadership Team. When we come together to work, we are efficient, effective, and productive. Our three most important characteristics are dedicated, transparent, and individually responsible. To work well together, we must
demonstrate respect, confront reality, and be accountable. We will always put students first, and we will leave a legacy of success.
Thank you both. For the courtesy of those listening to the meeting, I'm requesting everyone in the audience to please turn off their electronic devices and put them on vibrate. Later in the meeting, up to 30 minutes will be provided for individuals to address the board on matters concerning the operation of the Marion County school system, or the school board only. Presentations to the board are limited to 5 minutes and are televised. If you wish to address the board regarding a regular agenda item or matters on which the board customarily takes action, you must first complete a form located in the lobby. If you wish to address the board regarding a public hearing or student disciplinary matter, please complete the lime green form. These forms will be fully completed and received by the board clerk no later than 5:40 p.m. The procedures applicable to each are on a separate sheet. Good evening, Ms. Martinez-Young. Please call the roll.
Dr. Allison Campbell, District 1.
Here.
Mrs. Lori Conrad, District 2.
Here.
Mr. Eric Cummings, District 3.
Here.
Mrs. Nancy Thrower, District 4.
Here.
Dr. Sarah James, District 5.
Here.
Luke Lombardo, Westport High School.
Here.
Julia Slaughter, Vanguard High School.
Here.
Dr. Danielle Brewer, Interim Superintendent.
Here.
Mr. Jeremy Powers, School Board Attorney.
Here.
Dr. Brewer, since we've already had a bit of an introduction, but if you will formally introduce who will be doing our inspiration and Pledge of Allegiance for us this evening.
Thank you. Good evening. At this time, I'd like Mr. Chad Frazier to come to the podium. He will provide the introduction for our JROTC unit this evening.
Good evening, Chair James. It's my pleasure tonight to be able to, and board members, to be able to introduce our JROTC from Lake Ware High School. We have our Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Emily Bradley, our Cadet Command Sergeant Major Tyron Conley, our Cadet Captain Eric Burrell, our Cadet Staff Sergeant Janelius Guevara, and our Cadet Staff Sergeant Tyler Lasky. If you'll please welcome them up. They are led by our Lake Weir High Senior Army Instructor, Lieutenant Colonel, retired Carlos Lopez. So you're welcome up for the inspiration.
Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No, the microphone's not on yet.
One moment.
Hello? Yes. Hello, my name is Emily Bradley, and this is my 4th year being in Lake Weir's JROTC program. With it recently becoming 2026, I wanted to talk about New Year's resolutions. Many of you in this room have already established goals that you want to achieve by the end of the year. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned through JROTC is that your goals take dedication and a strong will. There will always be hard moments where you worry that you aren't capable of achieving your goals, that there will always be someone better, that a few setbacks will mean the end. But that couldn't be farther from the truth. My freshman year, I was quiet and more socially awkward than I would like to admit. I wanted nothing more than to be that one person that could stand in front of a crowd and say whatever was on their mind. I never imagined that person could be me. It wasn't until I got actively involved with JRTC that I noticed a difference. It started small. I began feeling more confident talking to people in my company. I even ended up joining my JRTC color guard and drill team and made friends there. After that, that confidence began to seep into my everyday life. Aside from making friends, I ended up joining Yearbook and National Honor Society, which gave me more scholarship opportunities. After I noticed the change in my confidence, I strove to become better. The new leadership positions that I gained over the next few years, such as squad leader, color guard commander, public affairs officer, and company commander, as well as leading color guard teams at school events, gave me the confidence to be the person that I wanted to be. My junior year, I began to worry that my progress wasn't enough, that I wasn't as good as others, and I didn't acknowledge the progress that I had made years prior to that. Looking back, I realized the truth. The expectation that I needed to be the best was an imaginary concept that I created in my own mind. Those concepts prevented me from becoming the person that I wanted to be. No one is expecting you to be the best, no one expects you to be perfect, and most of all, no one expects you to be the best. It's not about what others think, it's about your happiness, your goal, and your accomplishments. Progress takes time, consistency, and dedication. If you want it, work for it. No one is stopping you but yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here and sharing your testimony about leadership, and it's a pleasure to have you all here to present our colors for tonight's meeting.
Of course.
Thank you. Dr. Brewer, I believe we have 2 recognitions tonight.
Yes, we do, and as you can tell, we have a full audience, so thank you all for being here. The first recognition will be presented by Ms. Yvette Del Nodal. She is our Director of Mental Health and Wellness, so welcome, Ms. Del Nodal.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer, and good evening, Chair James and members of the board. The National Red Ribbon Campaign is designed to support communities in their efforts to bring awareness advocacy, and resources specific to their commitment to be drug-free. Our partnership with the Marion County Children's Alliance and participation in Red Ribbon Week is a long-standing tradition. This evening, we would like to have two of our very own participating students share some of the information about this year's events. I'd like to welcome Ms. Barton from Denellen Middle School to introduce our two students. Ms. Barton has led Red Ribbon efforts at more than one school in Marion County Public Schools and is passionate about this campaign, as evident by the enthusiasm of the students and the caliber of their submissions. Ms. Barton?
Good evening, school board and members of the audience. I would like to introduce to you two of my Safe Promise leaders, Marissa Sanks and Yesenia Santos.
Good evening, Dr. Brewer, Chair and members of this board. This year, Red Ribbon Week, with the theme of Life is a Puzzle, Solve It Drug-Free, was a huge success this week, and the activities are used to promote the entrance of drug use in our school communities and workplaces, as well as encourage healthy choices and healthy living. It is an honor to participate in this natural yearly event and during this information to our students.
The community kickoff event at the Marion Drive-In Theater brings over 1,000 participants annually, including adults and youth coming in to view information from community agencies and then watch movies for free at the drive-in. To help with this event, many youth volunteers come together each year to support the project and gain volunteer hours. These numbers continue to grow each year.
The Spirit Contest is a major highlight of Red Ribbon Week for the schools in Marion County. This year, 17 schools participated in weekly activities, with 13 schools participating in the jury and Spirit Week contest. In all, this week's events impact all about 13,140 students in the district.
We want to give a big thanks to all the schools that participated in the Spirit Contest: Anthony Elementary, Bellevue Middle, Bridgeway Academy, Denellen Elementary, Denellen Middle, Fessenden Elementary, Fordham Early Learning, Forest High, North Marion Middle, Oakcrest Elementary, Ocala Charter High, Osceola Middle, and Winding Oaks Elementary.
Multiple from the different parts of the school system. Some new juries their year tour all the campus that signed up to come to winners in the elementary school, middle, and high school. Congrats. It is with great honors that we present to you this year's School Spirit winners.
The winning high school is Bridgeway Academy. They showed us, though they are small, they can come out and force to promote a good cause. Woo! They are a repeat winner in the high school category.
Okay, the winning middle school was Denellen Middle School. The levels of participation, creativity, and thoughtfulness were inspiring at this level. And for the winning elementary school, we have Oakcrest Elementary School, who also has their team here. They had whole campus participation and such creative ideas.
Awesome.
we also want to make sure that we thank the hospital district who is providing their awards, and you will each get a $500 check that will be delivered to your school. And I think we're going to take pictures after the next recognition, correct?
Yes. Yep, if you will just hang out, we will
Y'all can just hang
come
out
down and take
couple
pictures in
minutes.
just a few minutes, okay? Super grateful for the level of participation in Red Ribbon Week. I have to say that's slow because it's like a tongue twister for me. But I always love when I'm driving by the schools and I see the cups in the fences, which is what we did when I was a student as well. And so some of those tied and true traditions stay put. Board, anyone else have any comments about Red Ribbon Week? Okay, I just wanted to make sure I extended it. I think we have one more recognition. Dr. Brewer.
I'd like to recognize Mrs. Deborah Velez. She is here with the hospital district, and so we thank you for everything you do for our schools and our students. So thank you for being with us this evening.
She's stand. I don't see her.
Please stand, Ms. Velez. There she is.
Thank you.
And yes, so now the second recognition for this evening will be presented to us by Mrs. Melissa Kynard. She is the area superintendent over this region.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer. Good evening, Board Chair Dr. James and board members. I have the honor of recognizing Denellen High School's football team as they participated in the inaugural Florida Invitational Tournament at the conclusion of the 2025 season. The Florida High School Athletic Association added the FIT Championship to its state championship series this year after offering it in the rural division in 2024. This year's FIT championships included 3 divisions: rural 1A through 3A, 4A through 7A. Denellen participated in the 1A through 3A championship that included 4 rounds. After victories against Pensacola High, Andrew Jackson High, and Palatka High in the first 3 rounds, they went on to defeat North Miami High 13-7 on December 4th at the Villages High School. Congratulations to Principal Martin, Coach Bynum, and the Denellen High School football team. Please come down.
Yes, if you guys want to come down, and then once you come down, just stay down if you'd like, since we're going to take pictures with Denellen High School. So come on down, and we will take pictures with Denellen High School and then with the Red Ribbon Week winners.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
maybe we can do the ROTC as well.
Yes, in ROTC, yes. Yep.
Down here, they're going to come down and take pictures, yep. I don't know, listen, E-Town's in the house. Congratulations. Yes, right, I like it. That's awesome. That's so cool, right? No, you're good, I'm over here. I'm just waiting on them, I should really have my picture, or, Murphy. them when they...
Yeah, we got it.
You sure? Do you want one?
No, I got it.
You sure? Okay. Congratulations again, guys. Thank you. Congratulations. Nice job representing. Thanks for coming, guys. Thank you. Congratulations. Nice job, guys. Congratulations again. Appreciate y'all coming out. Thank you. Congratulations. Nice job. Hey, he was a part, right? And for sure. He came all in practices. Thank you. Good job. See you soon.
There's no reason.
I just used the phone to take pictures of the high school. Get back in here to get my phone. Good phone. Camera. You have to go back there and take it, because I have to go.
Got it. I don't think so.
I had to go back there.
Yeah, I need to.
Why don't you just scoot in? There you go. Make sure we can see that. Okay, that's better.
Can we scoot? Can we make 2 rows?
Yeah.
Can we make more rows?
Can we have more people on the second row? Thank
Yeah.
you, Principal Doc.
Just move in.
I think that will help. May have to go from the side.
Can we do one normal and then without?
Yes.
Without one with, without.
I'm gonna go to the side. I can't get them all.
Okay, go for it. Who's gonna help me move this podium? I'll move it back, I swear. I want to get us done. All right, you ready? I'm gonna get everyone. All right. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. Phone 2. All right, thank you. I don't know whose phone is phone. All right.
Luke, you can't do that. You know you have to see me, man. I gotta see you. Here we go. And looking right here. And 1, 2, 3, couple more.
Okay. Okay, so I like that.
Good. Thank you.
Nice job.
I'll go everywhere. I want to operate.
Yeah, we got into some of the details.
He wants to go.
Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, couple more.
I will figure them after me.
And I'm good.
Now look here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, what?
As we make it back to our seats, we're going to go into our donations section of the meeting, and I want to recognize Seco is here, and they just wanted to say a few words because they did show up tonight and present us with a check. So the floor is yours.
Yes, my name is Ryan Myers. I'm with Seco Energy, and it's my pleasure to present the board with their annual capital credit check. It's a benefit of being a member owner of a nonprofit electric cooperative, and what it represents is the remaining unspent revenue of the co-op that the school board is entitled to as one of our member owners. And it's my pleasure to do it, and I'm very thankful for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I will go ahead and recognize the rest of our donations that we have tonight, board. In addition to the generous donation from Seco, we have $1,000 to Harborview Elementary School from the Community Foundation for Ocala Marion County, Inc., to be used at the discretion of Harborview Elementary School principal. We have $2,763.08 to Hillcrest School from Rack Room Shoes to be used as part of the Shoes That Fit program to purchase socks and shoes for Hillcrest students. $1,000 to Vanguard High School from Elite Construction of Ocala, LLC, to be used to support the girls' weightlifting team with expenses. $3,341.26 to Maplewood Elementary School from Maplewood PTO to be used for classroom materials and supplies. $2,409.49 to Emerald Shores Elementary School from Emerald Shores Elementary School PTO to be used at the principal's discretion for students and staff. $1,500 to Fort King Middle School from Pediatric Associates of Ocala to be used at the discretion of Fort King Middle School principal. $2,500 to the School Choice Department from Mid-Florida Credit Union to be used to support the promotion, support, and implementation of magnet opportunities within Marion County Public Schools. $1,000 to Westport High School from Johnston's Inc. to be used to cover the expenses of lanyards for students to display their student identification cards. $1,160 to Bellevue Elementary School from Open Circle Metropolitan Community Church to be used to purchase a lawnmower for school use. And $1,000 to Liberty Middle School from the National FFA Foundation to be utilized by the agriculture classes for a service project totaling $25,745.07 in donations. Thank you so much to our community for your commitment to Marion County Public Schools.
Okay, thank you. I recommend approval of the agenda for the January 13th, 2026 school board meeting with the materials in the board packet, those materials distributed to board members at the meeting, and the audio recording included as part of the official record of the meeting, with the exception of items D22.1, D22.2, D22.3, D22.4, D22.5, D22.6, D22.7, D22.8, D22.9, and D22.10 that have been placed under discussion, regular agenda items, and items C18.3 and C17.1 that have been pulled and placed under discussion, pulled agenda items.
May I have a motion on the superintendent's recommendation?
So move.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Cummings, second by Board Member Conrad. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Ms. Martinez-Young, please provide the proof of publication for tonight's school board meeting.
The notice for the January 13th, 2026 school board meeting ran in the Ocala Gazette on January 2nd, 2026. The proof of publication has been attached in board docs under proof of publication.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the November 6, 2025 administrative briefing and work session?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Conrad and second by Board Member Campbell. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the November 11th, 2025 Board of Directors Leasing Corporation organizational meeting?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Conrad and second by Board Member Cummings. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the November 11th, 2025 Special School Board Organizational Meeting?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Cummings, second by Board Member Conrad. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the November 11th, 2025 School Board Meeting?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Conrad, second by Board Member Thrower. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the November 20th, 2025 administrative briefing and work session?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Conrad and second by Board Member Thrower. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the November 20th, 2025 special school board meeting expulsions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Cummings, second by Board Member Campbell. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the December 1st, 2025 special administrative briefing and work session?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Conrad, second by Board Member Campbell. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the December 9th, 2025 school board meeting?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Thrower, second by Board Member Cummings. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Ms. Martinez-Young, do we have any speakers this evening?
Yes, Madam Chair, we have 2 speakers.
Okay. I would like to welcome Attorney Powers to the meeting to describe and explain the rules for this board work session, or this board meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In compliance with Section 286.0114 Florida statutes, the school board has adopted uniform procedures for public speakers who wish to speak at this evening's meeting, either regarding one of today's agenda items or a matter relating to the operations of the school district. These procedures will ensure the public has a reasonable opportunity to be heard on school board and school district matters. A written summary of these procedures is available from the table in the lobby. Public speaker forms are also located on the same table. The completed forms were due to the school board's clerk no later than 5:40 p.m. This evening's speakers will be called prior to the business portion of the school board's meeting in the order of receipt by the school board clerk. Before you begin speaking, please state your full name for the record and spell your last name. Each speaker will have 5 minutes. When the speaker has 1 minute remaining, the speaker will receive a visual notice to complete his or her comments. Speakers may not yield their time to other people. Speakers are expected to conduct themselves in a respectful manner. Therefore, verbal attacks and profanity are strictly prohibited. Pursuant to the procedures for public comments, item 6, speakers are not to identify specific individuals other than themselves or their child unless the statement is provided 24 hours in advance. The board is here to listen to your comments only. You may be directed to an administrative staff member following the conclusion of your comments for further assistance to address your concerns. If there are matters dealing with student discipline, including expulsions, they'll be scheduled at the conclusion of the televised portion of this meeting. Parents may address the board regarding a disciplinary matter at that time. To ensure student privacy, only a parent or guardian may use the student's first or last name. Identifying references to other students or their families are also strictly prohibited. A speaker's speech does not reflect the endorsement, sponsorship, position, or expression of the school district. Thank you for your attention to the board's requirements. Madam Chair, that concludes my explanatory remarks.
Thank you. Ms. Martinez-Young, can the first speaker please come forward?
Mr. Len Rosipi.
I guess it's on. Good evening, Board. My name is Len Rasiopi, address 5288 Southwest 85th Street, Ocala, Florida. And I'm Vice Chair and representing the Marion County Executive Republican Committee and the County Republican Party. On January 5th, we sent the board a letter disagreeing with the plan to abandon the commitment made to conduct a national superintendent candidate search and instead now move to appoint the interim superintendent. Before I get into any of the details, first I do want to mention that we appreciate the folks on the board that engaged with us both in person and via email. That is very important. They were frank and they were constructively civil. At the end of the day, we may agree to disagree, but I think the quality of how we do it is critical. but to be able to talk to each other and to have that access. Several reasons for the disagreement, and this was noted in our letter. A review of the recent test scores do not show a dramatic improvement, with some students in schools still lagging in areas of math and reading, and it's detailed in our letter. First, the interim superintendent was appointed in May, essentially at the end of the school year. Therefore, in our view, there's not enough run time to justify abandoning a competitive comparison to other candidates. Qualified now is qualified later. So we're not judging the person. We're just saying, just like you do contracting, and you contract the contractors you know, you test the marketplace. As we were informed, the cost of the search was about $50,000, which is 0.004% of the school's $1.2 billion, approximately, annual budget. In our view, this is a very small investment to seek and test the marketplace and select the best candidate to lead and improve our schools and students' performance. In summary, there's no test data nor monetary barrier that warrants a decision at this time. We request the board respectfully keep your commitment that you made to the community to perform a national search, evaluate the best, continue the ongoing evaluation of the interim superintendent and competitive candidates, and at the end of the process, select the best candidate competitively for the benefit of Marion County students. I've submitted our letter, so it's part of the record of this meeting. Thank you for your time and your ongoing work, and if you have any questions, I didn't use my 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Mr. Andres Aravello.
I have some maps to give them, if I can. Good evening, Chair, board members, and superintendents. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you tonight. I am Andy Arevalo, past president of the Denellen Chamber, and I'm here on behalf of the Denellen Chamber and Business Association and the broader Denellen community. We appreciate your service to your students and families, and we come before you with respect the responsibility you carry protecting school property, student safety, and public trust. I am also alumni of Denellen High School. Go Tigers, but they're already gone. All right. For many years, through 2016, the Denellen Chamber proudly partnered with the school district to host Independent Day fireworks at the Denellen High School football stadium. These celebrations were safe, well-attended, and deeply meaningful to our community. They became a tradition that families look forward to year after year. In 2017, an unexpected permitting issue prevented the event from moving forward, and in the years that followed, the Chamber faced financial constraints that temporarily made hosting fireworks unrealistic. We share this background simply not as an excuse, but to explain why the tradition so cherished by our community has been absent longer than anyone would have wished. Today, we're in position to bring back the responsibility and the successful show. July 4th, 2026 marks the 250th birthday of our great nation, a once-in-a-lifetime milestone. Communities across America will be gathering to celebrate this historic moment, and Denellen deeply wants to have the opportunity to do the same, together, locally, and safely. We want the board to know that the Denellen Chamber has secured necessary insurance, $5 million, coverage to host this event. In addition, we have a letter from the county fire chief confirming that there is no record of any incidents during any of the years the fireworks were previously held at Denellen High School. Safety has always been and will remain our top priority. The pyrotechnicians we use are nationally recognized professionals who earned top honors in pyrotechnics field in the early 2000s and are highly experienced in staging shows in the stadium settings and maintaining strict safety distances, something that Dunellen High School's 87.5 acre campus uniquely allows us. As in the past, fireworks would be staged far from the bleachers, spectators areas, and buildings. Since September, after our initial request to rent the facilities was denied to concerns on safety, liability, and potential property damage, we have made extensive efforts to find an alternate location. We have reviewed maps, researched property appraisers' records, and explored both public and private lands. Unfortunately, there is simply no other suitable location within or near Dunellen that can safely accommodate the community-wide fireworks display, including traffic. The high school campus is uniquely positioned to do so, just as in the past. Beyond the fireworks themselves, we see this event as an opportunity to strengthen the community ties and directly benefit students. We planned on inviting school clubs, athletic teams, and organizations to participate and to be visible during the event. The marching band could perform patriotic songs, and clubs and athletic groups can host tables and fundraisings. Part of the thing was that the Dunellen High School would collect the money for parking. This event would not just celebrate our nation, it would also showcase the pride, talent, and involvement in Dunellen High School students. Ultimately, our community is asking for the same opportunity that so many nearby communities already enjoy, the chance to come together in a safe, familiar place and celebrate our countries, our town, and our shared future. We respectfully ask the board to reconsider allowing the Dunellen Chamber to host the July 4th fireworks at the Dunellen High School football stadium. We are committed to work collaboratively with the district to address concerns, ensure safety, protect property, and make this positive experience for everyone involved. Thank you for your time and your consideration. If you look at the maps that's on there, if you look at it this way, where the parking is to the south here, you'll see in the upper left-hand corner that field belongs to the high school and to the ag department. In that back, that's where, for the past, every time that we've held this event, is where it was launched. So it is from the high school itself over 2,005 feet away. It is actually a lot further than any from the fire department, what their rules are that regulates it. Again, I have mentioned that we do have a $5 million rider for the fireworks display. And if there's any other questions, please let me know.
Thank you very much for coming and providing this information for the board.
All right, thank you.
Is there any other public speakers?
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, do we have have his contact information?
Yes, sir.
All right, moving on to our public hearings. May I have a motion to approve the recommended revisions of the board's policies?
Motion to approve the policy changes.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Campbell and a second by Board Member Cummings. The recommendation of, that's you, Dr. Brewer.
The recommendation of revised board policies will ensure that the school board's policies reflect the board's guidance and are in statutory compliance.
I declare a public hearing. Is there anyone present who wishes to address the recommended revised board policies? All right. Hearing no participation from the public, board, are there any discussions about the policies? All right, then I will make a motion for a vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. I declare a public hearing. Is there anyone present who wishes to address the 2025-2026 K-12 English Language Arts recommended instructional materials for the adoption of 13 specific courses? All right, hearing none, board, is there any discussion amongst ourselves? All right, this will come on a further agenda for vote. Moving on to information items. We will start this evening with some information items regarding GMP. The school district used a construction management delivery method, including a guaranteed maximum price, also known as GMP, to perform construction work on these projects. There were unused funds on the project since the project was delivered using a construction management delivery with a GMP format. Unused dollars, regardless of the item, are returned to the owner. The unspent monies will be returned to the owner via change order, which will close the financial books on these projects. The superintendent or designee has signed and approved the change order. Per Board Policy 6345, the superintendent or designee is authorized to approve and execute any construction contract change order that will increase the construction contract by $25,000 or less, or that will decrease the construction contract amount, provided the approval shall be in his or her judgment in the best interest of the board. Such change order shall be binding upon execution by the superintendent or designee. The superintendent or designee shall report each change order and that he or she approved to the board at the board meeting that follows his or her approval. The superintendent or designee's approval of the change order shall be entered into the official minutes of the board meeting. I will go through now quite a bit of change orders, board, that are directly related to GMP. 10.1, Amendment Number 2 to the Construction Manager Contract, Guaranteed Maximum Price for Early Site Work and Materials Procurement related to construction of New Elementary School X, now known as Winding Oaks Elementary. Change Order Number 5, Amendment Number 2, Project 24-102. The cost of this change order is a deductive amount of $376,076.14. 10.2, Amendment Number 1 to the Construction Manager Contract, Guaranteed Maximum Price for Equipment Early Procurement related to the construction of New Elementary School X, now known as Winding Oaks Elementary. Change Order Number 4, Amendment Number 1, Project 24-102. The cost of this change order is a deductive amount of $1,444,280.86. Amendment Number 3 to the Construction Management Contract, Guaranteed Maximum Price for Labor and Materials consisting of interior construction related to construction of New Elementary School X, now known as Winding Oaks Elementary. Change Order Number 12, Amendment Number 3, Project 24-102. The cost of this change order is a deductive amount of $2,280,146.02. 10.4, Guaranteed Maximum Price for District-Wide Hydrophonic Tanks Replacement, Change Order Number 3, Work Authorization Number 5, Project 25-110. The cost of this change order is a deductive amount of $30,521.80. 10.5, Guaranteed Maximum Price for District-Wide Soffit Installation, Change Order Number 3, Work Authorization Number 3, Project 24-115. The cost of this change order is a deductive amount of $79,182.70. 10.6, Guaranteed Maximum Price to install canopy extension at the new central warehouse. Change Order Number 1, Work Authorization Number 6, Project 20-102. The cost of this change order is a deductive amount of $8,432.75. 10.7, Guaranteed Maximum Price for the replacement of interior and exterior transformers at Fort McCoy School. Change Order Number 4, Work Authorization Number 4, Project 24-120. The cost of this change order is a deductive amount of $67,083.53. 10.8, Replacement of HVAC chilled water piping and variable air volume units at Buildings 4 and 6 at Lake Ware High School. Change Order Number 1, Work Authorization Number 2, Project 24-123. The cost of this change order is a deductive amount of $147,473.93. The total of unused funds is $4,433,197.73. The returned funds from items 10.1 through 10.3, which is approximately $4,100,503.02, are being directed directly to the South Marion High School project. The school board has expressed its desire to pursue directly purchased materials to save the cost of sales tax. The deductive change order at the beginning of the project exceeded the actual cost of the materials purchased. We have not exhausted all materials to be bought through the ODP process and need to reconcile the deductive change order. The actual cost of materials purchased were less than anticipated. This change order is to reimburse the subcontractors through the general contractor for the difference between the deductive and actual materials purchased for various materials associated with the construction of the project. This change order will complete the direct purchase process for the project. The superintendent or designee has signed and approved the change order. Per Board Policy 6345, the superintendent or designee are authorized to approve and execute any construction contract change order that will increase the construction by $25,000 or less, or that will decrease the construction contract amount, provided that approval shall be in her judgment in the best interest of the board. Such change orders shall be binding upon execution by the superintendent or designee. The superintendent or designee shall report each change order that she approved to the board and the board in the board meeting that follows her approval. The superintendent or designee's approval of the change order shall be entered into the official minutes of the board meeting. 10.9, guaranteed maximum price for district-wide soffit installation change order number 2, work authorization number 3, project 24-115. The cost of this change order is an additive amount of 81 cents. Guaranteed maximum price, 10.10, for replacement of interior and exterior transformers at Fort McCoy School, change order number 3, work authorization number 4, project 24-120. The cost of this change order is an additive amount of 83 cents for a total additive amount of $1.64. For the purposes of the board and the public, we are going to be revisiting the policy that I mentioned that would require us to bring 84 cents before the board in a public meeting. So in the next policy update board, we will be having some further discussion about that if it's the pleasure of the board. At this time, that concludes our informational items, and now on to the consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve consent agenda items C 12.1 through C 19.1 with the exception of items D 22.1, D 22.2, D 22.3, D 22.4, D22.5, D22.6, D22.7, D22.8, D22.9, and D22.10 that have been placed under discussion regular agenda items, and items C18.3 and C17.1 that have been pulled and placed under discussion pulled agenda items. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve consent agenda?
Motion by Board Member Conrad, second by Board Member Cummings. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Moving on to student disciplinary matters. We'll start with alternative placements to Bridgeway Academy. Before addressing expulsion matters, I would like to acknowledge that board members have received the alternative placement list for students through November 21st, 2025. Ms. Martinez-Young, are there any parents who have submitted a timely request to speak on their child's disciplinary matter?
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the expulsion of students JD 26-073E, JD 26-075, JD 26-077E, JD 26-078, JD 26-079, JD 26-80E, JD 26-082E, JD 26-083, JD 26-084E, JD 26-085, JD 26-086, and JD 26-087 for the remainder of the 2025-2026 school year and the first and second quarter of the 2026-2027 school year.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Conrad,
Second.
second by Board Member Campbell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the expulsion of student JD 26-072 and JD 26-074 with off-campus virtual learning for the remainder of the 2025-2026 school year and the first and second quarters of the 2026-2027 school year?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Conrad,
Second.
second by Board Member Thrower. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Was there any nays? I'm sorry. Did you say aye, Dr. Campbell? Okay, I'm sorry I missed that. Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the expulsion of student JD 26-043E and JD 26-045 for the remainder of the 2025-2026 school year and the first quarter of the 2026-2027 school year?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Conrad,
Second.
second by Board Member Cummings. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the expulsion of student JD 26-076E with off-campus virtual learning for the remainder of the 2025-2026 school year and for the first quarter of the 2026-2027 school year?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Conrad,
Second.
second by Board Member Campbell. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Now we will move on to our discussion and regular agenda items. D22.1, may I have a motion to approve the 2026, 2027, and 2027-2028 instructional calendars?
Motion to approve calendars.
Motion by Board Member Conrad,
Second.
second by Board Member Thrower. Dr. Brewer, do you have information you would like to share regarding this item?
Yes, ma'am, thank you. We have Mr. Ayers here with us this evening, and he will provide brief remarks concerning the instructional calendars.
All right. Mr. Ayers is making his way down. Welcome, Mr. Ayers.
Welcome. Board Chair, board members, Dr. Brewer. So the instructional calendars, we had the work session, and we had the discussion in the work session in December. And there was a consent reached at that board work session for these instructional calendars. Now remember, these instructional calendars do not include Wymena Park.
All right, thank you very much. Board, do you have any further discussion on the instructional calendars? Okay, I will just say the one thing for the community to take notice, it's a very similar calendar. The only major difference is that we are now going to have an early release day on the last day of school, not starting this May, but next May. So nothing changes for the rest of this school year, but for the community to be aware. But we preserved all of the traditional holidays that everyone is used to, so this looks pretty similar to what we've always done.
Right, and this is a 2-year cycle. And so the goal is now to do this annually, but for 2 years. And the things will always have 2 years worth of calendars.
Absolutely, and families who are wondering, you can find it right on the homepage of marionschools.net. There's a tag for calendars.
Yep, and they'll be, if pending approval, these will be posted by tomorrow.
Awesome, thank you so much. All right, hearing no further discussion from the board, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Ayers. D22.2, may I have a motion to approve the Perkins V Career and Technical Education, CTE, Equipment Upgrade and Modernization Grant?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Cummings, and second by Board Member Thrower. Dr. Brewer, do you have information you'd like to share regarding this item?
Yes, thank you. Mr. Whitehouse will come to the podium and provide some highlights of this particular grant.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer. Good evening, board. So this Perkins Career and Technical Education Equipment Upgrade Modernization Grant was available to our district. For this grant, Marion Technical College chose the Automotive General Service Technician Program. It is obviously a program that has very expensive equipment and was long overdue for equipment upgrades, and so all of that $104,490 would be put to use to upgrade the automotive program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Whitehouse. Board, do you have further comments on this item? All right. Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Whitehouse. Moving on to item D, 22.3. May I have a motion to approve the amendment of the central office staffing plan for the 2025-2026 school year?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Conrad,
Second.
second by Board Member Cummings. Dr. Brewer, I believe you have someone here to speak to this item?
Ms. Morant, she's the Executive Director over Human Resources. She will actually provide remarks for the next 2 items. We understand you do vote in between, but she is here for the next 2 items. Thank you, Ms. Morant.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer, Chair James, and board members. Good afternoon. We are recommending approval for Agenda Item D 22.3, Amendment to the Central Office Staffing Plan. The first is adding 5 non-CDL drivers. The JD is also on this agenda and has been approved, or will be discussed later. It's actually pulled for discussion. These positions will be responsible for transporting our students to and from their designated stops, utilizing vans that were recently purchased by the district. The positions will be district funded. We're also recommending an exchange of a clerk typist position for a finance clerk position in the Grants and Federal Programs Department. This position will be funded by Title I, and this unit exchange will align the position and job functions to the fiscal goals and objectives of the department. And lastly, we are requesting to exchange 1 head custodian 2 position for 2 head custodian 1 positions. This allows 1 head custodian to oversee a school versus being responsible for 2 schools, and these positions will be district funded.
Thank you, Ms. Morant. We'll stop there for now to see if the board has any discussion on this agenda item. Okay. Ms. Morant, will you go ahead and give us some background on the other items? Or do you want to vote right now first? Which would you prefer, board? Do you want to hear everything from Ms. Morant?
Let's just go ahead and vote.
Okay. Okay, so regarding item D 22.3, which is the amendment to the central office staffing plan, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. And then moving on to D 22.4, may I have a motion to approve the collective bargaining agreement between Marion Education Support Professionals and the School Board of Marion County 2024 through 2027?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Thrower and second by Board Member Cummings. Ms. Morant, do you have remarks you'd like to share on this?
I do. On behalf of the Human Resources Department, Attorney Blackman, and the Marion Education Support Professionals, or MESP, we are excited to request board approval of the 25-26 changes to the collective bargaining agreement. The changes to this 3-year agreement are notated in the document attached to board docs. The members of the bargaining unit ratified the tentative agreement by a vote conducted by MESP. The total cost associated with this item is approximately $1.1 million. Once again, we extend our sincere appreciation to Mr. Chris Altabello, Mrs. April Rose McCoy, MESP members, the district bargaining team, and everyone involved in ensuring that we were able to settle on the MESP collective bargaining agreement.
Thank you, Ms. Morant. Board, I open it up to us for further discussion. All right. Hearing none. All right. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. D 22.5, may I have a motion to approve the revised job description for the district school superintendent?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Conrad,
Second.
second by Board Member Thrower. Ms. Morant, did you have anything you wanted to add on the job description?
Nothing to add, it's just the description that we discussed at the December 18th work session. We made the changes that were notated in that work session, and it's uploaded to board docs.
Thank you very much. All right, Board, are there any further discussion regarding the new job description for the district school superintendent? Okay, I just wanted to give recognition the work that HYA did with our community, which is the firm we hired for the national superintendent search. And that first leg of the work that HYA did, we were able to take the work and the information they collected from our community and essentially put it right into this job description. So everything that they were able to formulate as our community and our staff felt should be a part of a job description for a superintendent, we were able to put in, and so we see that reflected here tonight. Anything else, Board? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. D 22.6, may I have a motion to request permission to utilize Omnia Contract 3341 for the replacement of chilled water unit at Westport High School, Project 26-107.
So move.
Motion by Board Member Cummings. Second by Board Member Conrad. I believe Ms. Usher has some remarks.
She will provide brief remarks on the next 4 items.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Brewer.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer. Chair James, board members, good evening. 22.6 is the replacement chiller water unit at Westport High School. This is an emergency project. The pony chiller went out. We had funds left over from other projects, so we were able to fund this. The work will be done and completed by summer of this year at a cost of $548,562. It is a piggyback contract, and Train will be performing the work.
All right, thank you, Ms. Usher. Board, any further remarks on this item? Board Member Thrower.
Thank you. I'll just say thank you for including the cost.
You're welcome.
Anything else? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. D 22.7, may I have a motion to approve the compensation amendment number 1 to the construction manager contract, guaranteed maximum price for construction of new technology and information services center, Project 24-100.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Conrad, second by Board Member Thrower. Ms. Usher, you have remarks on this?
Yes, thank you. This is for the GMP, for the new Technology and Information Services Building. As you recall, we started on this project back in '23, but because of different competing priorities, we weren't able to do it. Luckily, we got the $1.9 million from the warehouse that's going towards this project, plus we did capital funding, additional funding to be able to do this project. It is scheduled to be completed by the end of this year at a cost of $10.5 million. We do have some monies next year for whatever we need to outfit the facility. We were able to use the same architect and contractor because the project was not deleted. It was just put on hold. And hopefully we'll get everything done by the end of this year, and they'll have a new facility.
Wonderful. Thank you. And the goal is to finish by Christmas so that over Christmas break, while the entire district is offline, we can move all of the data stuff over while we're on that bit of a break. Board, any further discussion on this item? Okay. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. D 22.8, may I have a motion to approve the compensation amendment number 1 to the construction manager contract guaranteed maximum price related to construction of cooler freezer additions, project 25-111, 25-112, and 25-113.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Conrad,
Second.
second by Board Member Cummings. Ms. Usher, do you have things to share about this?
It's for, this is funds from the Food Service Department. It's federal funds. So even though it's under the 7 million that we can award directly to a contractor per statutes, we had to go out for bid because there are certain regulations when we're using federal funds. It is for 3 schools, Dunellen Middle School, Thelma Parker Center, and Howard Academy. We got these priorities from the Food Service Department and their justification why they need to do these 3. It's based on age and size of the facility and the different schools they serve. The cost is $1.98 million. The contractor is A.D. Morgan. Completion date October 23rd, 2026.
Thank you very much, Ms. Usher. Board, are there any further questions or comments regarding this item? Board Member Thrower?
I think the whole board got emailed information about why these needed to be changed out, and I hope I have this date right. There was at least one of them that was from 1960-something.
That's correct.
I wish I had a refrigerator that lasted that long now. So it's high time, sadly, but we certainly got our use out of them.
Absolutely. Anything else, Board? All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. D 22.9, may I have a motion to approve guaranteed maximum price for Greenway Elementary School HVAC modification, project 25-105. Motion by Board Member Cummings,
Second.
second by Board Member Campbell. Ms. Usher?
Yes, Board, you all approved this in the capital plan on September 23rd. This project will be done in 2 phases. The funding is mainly capital outlay and debt service with some capital plan. This is first phase, and this is $787,578. The total project to completely redo all the HVAC system at Greenway will be about $7 million, but this is the first phase that we really need to redo the cooler towers. And this is projected to, I don't quite sure, but it should be done soon because we'll start the second phase next year, and this is just for the coolers.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Usher.
It says April 27, 26, just for the coolers, so I hope we can meet that deadline.
Thank you. Board, any further discussion on this item? All right. Hearing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. D 22.10, may I have a motion to reject bid 4163-GM pump truck tank system purchase?
So move.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Cummings, second by Board Member Thrower. I believe Mr. Rios Welsh has some brief remarks on this.
Ms. Usher is going
Oh,
to
okay.
provide remarks. She's standing.
Okay, in November, the purchasing department went out. This is for the maintenance department, and you all approved the funding for this project also in September 23rd, 2025 capital plan. They went out with bids for the pump, the tank, not the truck itself. The truck we're purchasing off the sheriff's contract. And we got 3 bids. The 3 bids were non-responsive, not acceptable. So the agenda item is to reject these 3 bids and allow staff to go out and really negotiate and purchase from a company. The truck will be bought from under the sheriff contract, and the company we're buying the tank from, they're also under the sheriff contract, but this product is not one of the products listed. But however, because we met all the statutory requirements, then we can go directly with this company and purchase the tank. So the request is to reject all bid and allow staff to really deal directly with this company.
Thank you, Ms. Usher. And Board, for transparency, I put this under discussion. I felt we don't reject bids often, so I wanted to make sure the board had an opportunity to have discourse if you wanted to. So I open it up to the board. Reverend Cummings.
This is, and Ms. Usher, I'm just for clarity's sake for me, this is for the, we call it the honey truck, correct?
It's the
The
septic,
sewage, with the sewage pump truck.
yes, that's correct. Yes,
The
it
honey
is.
truck, we call it the honey truck.
Okay.
Yeah. So we only have one of those?
Yes, and I mean, they're quite expensive. This truck will cost us about 330,000. So we use them to the very end and come back, because it's a big capital cost,
So is the one that we're using, is it down?
almost.
Because I know we use it a lot. Okay,
Yep.
okay.
All right.
And how soon would we be able to get one to replace this? Because
Well,
this is,
if we're-
this is a replacement, not a,
It is a
Additional.
replacement, and since we're buying the truck under the sheriff's bid, that will be quick. And the company we're buying it from is also under the sheriff's bid. The only reason why we could not put the pump tank under that, because the product itself was not on the sheriff's bid. But now we can buy the truck and the pump.
and the tank.
That's correct.
It's a
The septic
piggyback off the sheriff.
of the sheriff.
Okay, I got you.
All right. Any further comments from the board? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Now we will proceed our discussion to pulled agenda items. We're going to start with C 17.1. May I have a motion to approve the new job description of non-CDL driver 6.12?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Conrad,
Second.
second by Board Member Cummings. Ms. Thur, you pulled this item and would like to have further discussion?
Yes, Chair, I did, and primarily because transportation and on-time pickup and delivery of students continues to be one of our greatest challenges, and also it affects our families, greatly when our buses are not on time. We have been doing a little bit better lately in on-time pickup. We have moved from approximately 91% to 95% on-time delivery in the morning. But delivering kids home, we've actually decreased from about 70% on-time home to 67.6. And because so many of our families have to work, it just continues to be a tremendous challenge. So because it is talked about so much in the community, because we still get calls, even though we have families largely use the app, it's still a problem that we have not been able to completely solve. And I thought that it was really important to highlight the creative things that transportation is trying to do and bringing forward to us, including this new non-CDL driver position. There are pockets, because we are the size of Rhode Island and Marion County, and a lot of dirt roads and places where you wouldn't even think people would live, that we have to get kids. So I think that it is just another tool that we will be able to have drivers that they won't be driving buses, obviously, because they won't have their CDLs, but they will be able to drive our vans and hopefully get kids and get them to school on time, get them home on time. The last thing we need to do is sabotage our attendance success. And when parents can't trust our transportation system, with so many families working and just kind of being on a razor's edge when it comes to scheduling, I really look forward to the day when our on-time drop-off begins to mirror our on-time delivery to school. I think that it goes hand in hand with better attendance. In fact, there was a school that we awarded an attendance banner to today for most improved attendance that actually adjusted their school start times because of the uncertainty of transportation, and it has helped a lot. So I guess I just wanted to amplify that I'm certainly aware as a school board member that this is a continued challenge, and I know the rest of us do too. So I just think any time that a transportation-related agenda item comes up, it really should be under discussion so that we can continue to just make it clear to the community that we know we're not quite there yet, but we're doing all we can. That's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Thur. I don't think I could have said it any better myself. Do any other board members have comments on this item? Dr. Campbell?
Thank you, Chair. The only reason that I was going to speak on this is because while it is non-CDL driver that currently would report to Supervisor of Transportation, I believe it does give us the opportunity that should an individual secondary school choose to potentially hire an employee like this, and they were able to get a van donated to their school, they potentially could hire someone who then could drive that activity bus under this new job description. So again, that would be up to the discretion of any school having the funds and resources to do so, but I believe that this job description will give us the ability and flexibility to do that as well. I liken it to another community, another county, that their high schools actually have the ability to hire their own groundskeepers so they can maintain all of their athletic fields at the high school level. I liken it to that. So as we move into site-based budgeting and the principal has discretion to spend their resources accordingly, this might give that opportunity for our high school principals as well.
Yes, totally. And they would be able to drive the vans, not the buses.
Correct.
Yes. But yes, absolutely. So, any further comment, board? Oh, sorry, yes.
No worries. I just wanted to say I think this is really amazing that this could be a potential option, because I was talking to Ms. Cruz at Westport, and attendance continues to be a problem in our school, and I think it is certainly affecting the way that students are performing, because to some extent it's not their fault that they are late, and I just think that it's the fact that there's not as many options for transportation. And I think that if this were available to a lot of students, just because of how we were mentioning the rural state of much of Marion County, that this could certainly be an amazing option for many students and would certainly improve performance.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, any further comment? Board Member Thur.
Thanks, and just quickly to share, we already do have some vans, so this is also just adding to that fleet and just doing all we can to find drivers that are qualified and committed and, ready to do the job right, so we can continue to alleviate this issue. Thank you so much for speaking up.
All right. All right, hearing no further discussion from the board, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Let's move on to C 18.3. May I have a motion to approve the guaranteed maximum price for Osceola Middle School new gymnasium, change order number 9, amendment number 1, project 24-109. Motion by Board Member Cummings.
Second.
Second by Board Member Thrower. Dr. Campbell, you pulled this item and would like to have further discussion?
Thank you, Chair. I'll be recusing myself from this item and have already turned my form in to Ms. Martinez-Young.
Okay, thank you.
Chair, I also need to recuse myself from this, and I'll get a form from Ms. Martinez-Young afterwards.
Okay, thank you very much. Board, is there any further discussion on this item? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 3 with 2 recusals. All right, thank you, Board. We will now be moving on to meeting reminders. An ICROC meeting will be held on January 15th, 2026 at 4 p.m. Additionally, a special school board meeting is scheduled for January 22nd, 2026 at 7 a.m., followed by an administrative briefing and work session at 9 a.m. Board, I will be discussing that January 22nd, 7 a.m. meeting in our board comments in a few minutes. All right, we're going to open it up to committee reports, concerns, and comments. We'll start with Ms. Martinez-Young.
Nothing, Madam Chair, thank you.
Okay, Attorney Bowers?
Nothing from legal.
All right, thank you. Dr. Brewer?
Okay, thank you all. Ms. Thrower just mentioned, but today we had the privilege of recognizing 2 of our schools. We have one more later this week, but we were excited to recognize Sunrise Elementary for their improved attendance, and we recognized Horizon for the 2nd time in a row. So we're very happy for those schools and are so appreciative of the creative ways they have incentivized attendance and for keeping it as their priority as it is ours. I also want to recognize our high schools and the principals and the school teams. Today, the state officially released graduation rates, and Marion County received, as a district, an 85% graduation rate, which is a 5% increase from last year, and overall 7 percentage points for the last 2 years. So I want to recognize all the school teams for moving in the right direction. and we are incredibly proud of the high school students and the high school administrators and teachers. So thank you. Also, as you know, the legislative session has begun. We will actively monitor the education bills, and we appreciate you all attending at the end of the month for the legislative contacts that I know Dr. Campbell is taking the lead on. But we will monitor that to make sure we understand how the education bills, what impact they have to us here in Marion County. Also, speaking of the Capitol, Marion at the Capitals on February 11th, and Marion County Public Schools has been selected as the presentation. So we are incredibly excited that our Shady Hill students will perform for us. They will leave Marion County at 6 a.m. So they're going to be tired little students, but they are going to perform. So we are excited to have the honor to be the presentation. And just a reminder, we do not have school on Monday because we will be honoring Dr. Martin Luther King, and we have the march. There's plenty of activities during the weekend and in the parade on Monday, but there's also a day in the park at Webb Field at 10 a.m. So I want to make sure families are aware of that so they can participate, and if after the parade, don't go home, but come to Webb Field to celebrate. That's all my comments this evening, Chair.
Thank you. I will open it up to our student board members. Luke, do you want to get started?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I would just like to point out the fact that I believe student engagement is higher than I've ever seen it, and opportunity for it as well. There was something that I believe Ms. Slaughter was also a part of it, but there was Ms. Cruz described it to me as a focus group based on just the district in general and also the selection of our new superintendent. And we recognized things such as challenges in the school district based on our student perspective, also the strengths that we've seen, and also the characteristics that were important to us in a superintendent, and then also what was unique to us about Marion County as a whole. And I think that this was just super amazing, and seeing how students from the middle school level all the way up to high school level, and I believe even some elementary students, were able to give their opinions and tell the adults in our community how they felt about our district as a whole, and just everything that they were able to say and all the positives they were able to say, and just the general engagement from our students and how they were ready to give their opinion and just to show how they truly felt about our school district as a whole. I just thought it was really amazing, and the fact that that was an opportunity for us to be a part of that, I was just super grateful for that, and just for the opportunity to even be able to come here every couple of weeks and to be able to speak on behalf of our student body. I think that just the opportunity for engagement in Marion County is just a real blessing, and I'm grateful for that. So thank you to you all.
Absolutely. And Ms. Slaughter?
I just wanted to thank you guys for the opportunity to speak today to start off, and to piggyback off what something Dr. Brewer said. I feel like we do a really good job with preparing kids for graduation and getting them to graduate. I think our graduation rates are really good in this county, but I feel like it's also important to remember what comes after graduation, and I feel like we need to have a better system in place to prepare students for college, particularly first-generation students who don't have anyone at home with college experience to kind of help them through that process. As someone who has finally completed my college apps after a really long time with a lot of support, it's a long process and a hard process, and I have two parents who graduated from university, and I had teachers helping me, I had Ivy people helping me, and it was still like a really hard process, and I just can't imagine how it is for students who are first generation who don't have the support that I had. In the IB program at Vanguard, we are like constantly reminded about like college application due dates, ACT, SAT testing, scholarships and stuff like that have to do with college. And I feel like our community as a whole would benefit with high school students from all over being reminded about that, and not just IB kids, because I mean not every student is an IB student. And I feel like that really helped me through the process and kind of staying up to date on all of like our due dates and applications and everything like that. And I feel like we should have a better system in place to kind of like help students, like, because we have a lot going on, and it's kind of hard to remember like all of our due dates with like homework and tests and studying for all of that along with all of our college stuff. So I feel like we need to have a better system in place to kind of remind students about that. And I just have one example and then I'm done. One of my best friends, her name's Hannah, she goes to Vanguard with me, and she told me she was planning on going to college. We were talking about college in like September, and she doesn't have anyone to really help her through that process. And she told me that she hadn't taken any SATs or ACTs, and I was like freaking out for her. And she was like, "What's wrong? Like, why are you freaking out?" And I was like, "You need that for bright futures and like most colleges." And she just didn't know that. And she's a very, very smart girl. Like, she's one of the smartest people I've ever met in my whole life. And it's just like she doesn't have like people to kind of help her through that process, and no one was really talking to her about that process, so she didn't know. And it wasn't her fault, and it's not because she just doesn't understand that. Like, she's very smart, and when I helped her through it, like, she figured it out, and she's good now. But I think it would benefit students to kind of have a better system in place to walk them through those steps and get them out of high school and into college and into the workforce after that.
Thank you. Thank you for both sharing your insightful thoughts. I think props to Dr. Campbell for this idea years ago now, but there is so much value in having the student feedback on the board, not just now, but it also creates opportunity for just candid discourse outside of these meetings as well. And so we really do appreciate your feedback. Dr. Brewer is always taking notes and taking it back to the team to be able to constructively change our work if needed so that we can do what's best for kids. So thank you so much. Dr. Campbell.
Thank you, and thank you for recognizing that. I was going to say how cool it is to have the student perspective and kind of like a vision from years ago and seeing it come to fruition. What's really extra cool for me is having senior myself and then having seniors that I've like seen them grow up their whole lives. And so anyway, Julia was in classes with my senior and when they were in elementary school. So it's a ton of fun. And Luke played on soccer. Anyway, so it's really cool to be able to see the growth and the perspective, but also just the wonderful representation that you offer to your student bodies as well as just Marion County Public Schools in general. So thank you for representing the senior class of 2026. I had just a couple of quick things. First of all, tonight during the consent agenda, or I guess it was a public hearing actually for the policies that we approved, we need to make the community aware. A part of that, we do have a new public speaking policy, so that will be something that we'll need to make sure that the community is aware of. And so we'll have separate times moving forward now that that's been approved. In case folks haven't been paying attention to the work sessions, but maybe only watch the board meetings, there'll be separate times now, and the time that citizens are given will be 3 minutes for an agendized item at the beginning of the meeting, and then 3 minutes at the conclusion of the business portion of the meeting for any non-agendized item. So just want to make note of that in case anybody, again, wasn't paying attention to the work sessions, but only pays attention to this. So moving forward, we won't have 5 minutes any longer for public speaking. Dr. Brewer already mentioned the first day of session, which is today. I texted all of our legislative delegates on behalf of the board and just said, happy first day. We're looking forward to seeing you at the end of the month, and that we're ready to advocate for education and here to answer any questions that they might have for things that might impact Marion County Public Schools and frankly the state in education. There's going to be a lot coming, guys. So get your seat belts and your popcorn ready. So a couple of other things from committee reports, I would say. In last night's City of Ocala Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, there are a couple of projects that pass through planning and zoning that will directly impact Wyoming Park, Fort King, and Vanguard, but all three of those schools do have capacity, and so we don't quite know exactly what those projects will come to look like, or that City Council will fully approve them, but they did pass through the county or the Planning and Zoning Commission last evening. So as those continue to progress, if there's any additional information, I can try to get that for you guys. But it is always nice when those projects come through that we do have space in the schools that they would impact. So also today at the Governor's West meeting, I was grateful to hear from Dr. Barbara Brooks, who is the president of the Friends of the Marion County Black History Museum at Howard Academy. So she did speak a little bit about that. It was something that I was grateful to hear has started, that our Black History Museum at Howard Academy does now have an organization that is working on becoming their own 501c3 nonprofit to be the Friends of the Marion County Black History Museum, and I'm sure we'll be hearing more about that as they plan initiatives to try to make that even more having even more vitality than it already has, and just opportunities that they have for the future. Speaking of that, looking forward to all of the Martin Luther King Jr. events that happen this weekend, and we spoke a little bit about that in Governor's West today as well. I wanted to mention change orders. So, Chair, you did have to share a whole bunch of change orders with us, including one for less than $1. I just continue to believe that as we proceed with new projects, brand new projects, something new, I don't think it's a bad idea for us to consider a design build model, at least just give it a try. and pick a project, any project, and try a design build. And once we get there and we do it, then there won't ever be a change order in that particular project. So that is one of the benefits of that. I think it's something we need to pursue. I know Reverend Cummings and I have heard presentations about it. Certainly it would be up to the board to approve that at some point, but I continue to be an advocate for that. And lastly, I did speak with the gentleman last evening about the Dunellen fireworks, and so I recommended that they come tonight to share about what that would be like. I understand the information from the risk folks. I have the email stream that I requested from Mr. Martin just to kind of see where that all was. So I'm certain as Dr. Brewer is able, we can get more updates on what that might look like. I just pursued it because a county commissioner reached out to me because they're definitely trying to exhaust all options. When they get a no, they're going to come back and continue to see where they can find a yes. And so understanding that happened in 2016, we've had a lot of changeovers in law and fencing and all kinds of single point entry kinds of things that have all happened. Certainly July 4th will be a day that Marion County Public Schools is not in session or even operating, and there would be extensive work that would have to do. Some staff members would have to be present if we were having an activity on our campus, and though it's not a day that we would be traditionally working. So just look forward to additional information as Dr. Brewer has it. And I think that wraps up my comments. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Reverend Cummings.
Good evening. Thank you guys for being here this afternoon, and to all of our staff that show up every week. I want to commend our, first I commend our 2 student representatives. They come and they've been rotating, so it's not the same 2 that you see every board meeting. They've been rotating, and the representatives that have shown up for the students have brought input and added value to our conversation. So I do want to thank you guys. Piggybacking off of one of the comments about how a young lady actually slipped through the cracks. That's a problem. That's a problem for me because that's something that we've tried to close that gap where the process for after you graduate, what happens after you graduating, whether you're going to college or doing the applications or even taking the right tests to be able to go to college. I found it for a first generational college student to be very intimidating for them. And so if they don't have the right people or the right resources or the right friends, I'll even say that, these kids are feeling that they don't have any hope or options. And so that crack, I'm hoping that we'll be able to close that gap quickly because there are some very bright kids that won't even try to apply for college or know the process for applying for financial aid or even doing scholarship application and just writing an essay. There's so much money that our kids leave on the table because they just didn't write an essay. Simple stuff like that. But I think we have to, we as a district, we as a school district, our school counselors, their grade advisors have to start in middle school saying, these are some of the steps that you want to take. When I was in school, I had a plan coming out of 8th grade. If you wanted to go to college, these are the things you need to do. These are the classes that you need to take. These are the people that you need to see. We need to make sure that those things are implemented and are given to these kids so they don't wait till their senior year and then feel like I don't know what to do. I think that's a tragedy for us if we have kids in that situation. So I'm hoping that we'll figure out something. I know with our new superintendent and the team, that can be one mission that we can work on for that. The second thing is on last week, Dr. Campbell and I both were at this community meeting, and some others in the audience were at this community meeting called Safe Routes to Schools, and Dr. Brewer was there as well. This talks about having some working sidewalks. I'm gonna say working sidewalks because there's sidewalks in this neighborhood, but they're not working because anytime you have a tragedy where someone gets killed, obviously the sidewalks aren't in the right place or they're not properly lighted or whatever it may be. But this is a collaboration between the Marion County Public School System, the City of Ocala, and some other entities that are trying to get this grant to do these sidewalks and make sure that these kids, we used to have community schools where everybody in the community could walk to school, ride the bus or ride their bicycles or whatever. Now, it's not safe for a lot of kids to keep across the highway to go to a school. And so we need to figure out, we need to make sure that we're working with this group, Dr. Brewer, and I thank you for getting us involved with it, making sure that we do what we need to do from the school's standpoint. Transportation was there. Our, unfortunately, the young lady who's a tragic victim of this, that pushed this, caused this to happen, her family was there. So we want to make sure that we're doing whatever we can to collaborate with the city and county and whoever else we need to do. We need to work with to get this kind of thing happen. I was sitting in the meeting, Ms. Narvella and I was sitting at the meeting, and it kind of upset me a little bit. I had another word on my mind, but it kind of upset me a little bit to even have that conversation, because, and the reason I say it upset me, because that same stretch of road, that same stretch of Blisston Road has been that way all my life. I'm 56 years old, and here it is, it took 56 years and a tragedy for us to have to even have a conversation about sidewalks and street lights. I'm not pointing the finger at any person or any group or any entity, but 56 years. I'll say that. And I won't say what Ms. Marbella said, but she said she's a lot older than me. And it was that way when she was a kid. And so we can't wait till things happen bad before we start trying to fix things. We need to be proactive. So that was that. And finally, Dr. Campbell already mentioned it. This week, Monday is the MLK holiday. There are so many activities that are going on. They already started last week. We had the MLK food caravan to Interfaith Emergency Services because there's folk in our community that are hurting. Many of our students, student families are hurting. We just kind of people don't pay attention to it. We walk by it every day and don't realize just because you're doing good doesn't mean that everybody else is doing well. And so we want to be a blessing to Interfaith Emergency Services. That happened this week. On Saturday, there'll be the prayer breakfast. I'm praying all of us would be there, and following the prayer breakfast will be the wreath laying ceremony. And then following that, there's a youth day of youth activities. And then Sunday will be the ecumenical services at the New St. John Missionary Baptist Church, where Dr. T.L. Brooks is the pastor. And then Monday will be a march, a parade from downtown to Webfield. I want to say this, and now I'm through. Oftentimes people think that the holiday is just a holiday. It's a day off. It's a day off. It's a day to sleep in late. It's a day to barbecue or whatever, fish fry, whatever you do on day off. It's not. It's never been that way for me. It's always been a day on. It's a day of service, and I'm praying that our community as a whole embraces it as a day of service. If you just pay attention, you'll see around the country where folks are doing community cleanups and different activities, because it's not just a holiday. It's not a day off, but it's a day on. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Cummings. Board Member Conrad.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'm going to piggyback on Reverend Cummings. I feel, as a newer board member, that Marion County Public Schools is always well represented for our MLK activities and festivities. So I just wondered if we could kind of check in who's able to attend what, if you all don't mind sharing, so we make sure that we have coverage at the events that will be taking place next weekend. We know if you want to schedule something and want it to be very cold, you always schedule it on MLK, because that's always the coldest weekend. So anyway, I don't know if anybody wants to chime in and just share what they're able to attend. I just want to make sure we don't have any holes that we need to fill.
I mean, I can start. I will be coming to Mary Sue Rich at 1 o'clock for all of the family events on Saturday. I will be at the church service on Sunday, and I will be at the march and the day in the park on Monday.
James? Ms. Dorr?
Okay, I will be at the prayer breakfast, I'll be marching, I'll be going to church and enjoying the day at the park and the wreath laying. I guess just about all of it.
Yeah, all of the things, all right.
Everything.
Everything, okay, Reverend Cummings says everything.
My
Dr.
intention
Campbell?
is similar as well.
Okay, all right, thank you. Board, I will be attending Saturday morning service, and I will be there Monday morning for the parade. So thank you so much. Dr. Brewer, did you want to chime in? I did hear through the grapevine that you invited your leadership team.
Yes, I did. And I'll be attending all the events as well.
Okay, I love that. Thank you for including everyone.
Can I ask a question too? You just jogged my mind. At one point, and Mr. Whitehouse, you may remember this, at one point, we actually used the day in the park as an opportunity to recruit bus drivers. Are we still doing that? Is that something we still do?
Not for this particular event. I know this summer Tanya Nunn did a
for
great job recruiting.
I know for Juneteenth, and I know we did it a few years ago for, okay, just asking.
And not to interject, but I did also extend an invitation to all of executive cabinet during agenda review to march with us during the parade. I know historically, since I've been on the board, it's just the board, but I feel like we're just a representation of Marion County Public Schools, so I extended Dr. Brewer to make sure she let all of her each of their organizations know that anyone is welcome to march with Marion County Public Schools.
Thank you. I look forward to that. I just have a few brief things I want to mention. Yesterday, we had the attendance council meeting. We have a great showing from all the different departments, different schools. But Commissioner McLean came yesterday, and I was just really thankful for his presence. When I joined the board, it was very important to me. I think many of the things we discussed, many of the problems that we're trying to solve are community issues. And so I just wanted to give a shout out. I appreciated him taking time to come and listen and hear about some of the challenges that we face, just getting our kids to show up to school. So I was thankful for that. I also want to say, Luke and Julia, you are both a blessing. It's one of my favorite parts of being at a board meeting, and so I'm so thankful that you all, on your senior year, when you have all of these things that you are tied to, that you have to complete, that you're here spending a few hours with us, because as you can hear from all of my fellow board members, we really and truly appreciate all of your input and the time that you give to share your ideas with us. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We did quarterly attendance recognitions today, and I need Ms. Connor to raise her one team, one mission. Woohoo, woohoo. Thank you, Ms. Connor. It was just great to be a part of those celebrations, but even greater for me was the conversations that principals had about the teamwork that goes into increasing their attendance each and every day. And so there was great conversation about transportation, custodial, food service, all of those things. It takes each and every entity to help students succeed. So I just wanted to say thank you to each and every person that helps get our students to school on time and ready to learn. And I do want to give a special shout out to Mr. Ostanek today. I called him this afternoon to tell him thank you personally. He was in Alaska and answered his phone. So Dr. Brewer, I just wanted to give an extra shout out to him because our teams are always working. They're always on and always helping us to succeed. So wanted to say thank you for that. I also wanted to say thank you to our public speakers that came today. Len, I'm sorry I didn't get your last name. Is he still here? Is he sitting right there? Yeah. I just wanted to tell you thank you because you mentioned that we agreed to disagree on some things that you emailed and shared with us. But your email was very inviting, and I welcome that conversation. And so that always hasn't been historically the experience that I've had. And so I want to tell you thank you. I appreciate the conversation, and I appreciate being invited to the table to have that, because I think it takes all of us to solve the problem and make the best decisions. So thank you for that, and also for our the Denellen Chamber that came. There's lots of conversation in getting ready for America 250, and I know that they answered a lot of the questions that came up during our meeting, our planning meeting, and so Dr. Campbell, I hope to see some resolution there, because it looks like they have made a grand effort to meet at least some of the requirements that I heard that we needed to be met. So just thank you to both of those speakers that took time to come tonight. We do continue to solve problems. And lastly, I think, and Chair, I hope this is okay, but I think we have several members in the audience that are running for school board. And so I just wanted to give them the opportunity to stand up so we can see who you are. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you taking the time to be here and learn further about the work of the board. So just thank you both for being here. And with that, that concludes my board comments. Thank you, Dr. James.
Great, thank you. And Board Member Thrower.
You know, as everyone makes their comments and it gets down to the last couple, there's things that got said, and
you can still say them. I do.
A couple of them off already. I did want to just reiterate that since we only meet every 2 weeks, there's so much that happens that's great, you know, in that meantime. And so it's like, okay, what do I really want to focus on tonight without going on too long and everything else. But I did want to say, acknowledge our public speakers and Mr. Len. I did search my emails. I did not see an email, but I will share that I did receive a text from one of your members. It was about 3 o'clock the night before Christmas Eve, and I did respond promptly to that. So it's really important to me as a board member to be responsive to anyone that reaches out to me, whether they're agreeing or vehemently disagreeing or agreeing to disagree. I mean, that's what we're up here for. So just wanted to share that. Also, I really do hope that we can come to an agreement for Denellen and the fireworks celebration. Our community, as it continues to boom, also continues to be very sad about traditions that have been missed. And trying to balance all of that with all the new legal requirements is always a challenge, but I truly hope that if it's possible, that we can bring that tradition back. That's pretty cool. It reminds me of the God and Country Day that used to be out on Highway 27, and that was always so well attended. All right, and then moving on to just a couple of quick highlights. You know, Vanguard High School went from a C to a B letter grade. I was at their school advisory committee meeting the other night, and just the conversation around how to spend, you know, their recognition money. It was so incredibly thoughtful, so incredibly inclusive, making sure that everyone from the custodian all the way up to what might be considered, you know, the top leadership was going to be compensated exactly the same. And that to me just speaks volumes about the one team, one mission. If you're scrubbing floors or if you're crunching graduation data, your job is just as important and critical to our success as anyone else's. So that really warmed my heart. Also, Fort King, I believe it was their 8th grade class, did some traveling. It was well documented on social media. It was fantastic to me to know that students not only were getting the exposure to folks that are still living, that experienced the Holocaust, but actually were very engaged and asked deep and thoughtful questions. Having that kind of what I would call real education is so incredibly important, and it makes me think about, you know, you guys as school board representatives. I know we can do more even as board members. Local representation, so many decisions get made about how your community functions and how it grows and what the priorities are. And I started thinking that, you know, our test scores have really gone up in U.S. history and government. And one of the things I think I remember reading about the survey that we did is that students are saying that they really don't have a deep enough feel for what school board members do, or even, you know, superintendent for that matter. And so I would just like to try to explore that a little more. I know that I would love and really enjoy visiting classrooms whenever I can. I would be happy to talk to any students at the high school level. You know, you guys are getting to the age where you're going to be old enough to vote. And voting at all is important, but voting responsibly is even more important, you know, voting informed. And if any of you ever, you know, thought about maybe being a school board member, you know, what does it take? What's the process like? Even, you know, to run for any elected office, there's a lot to it. And And it would be really exciting for me, to share as much as possible to anyone that's interested in. Representative form of government will represent a whole lot better when more people are really engaged in the process. So thank you again for continuing to share everything that you do. Also want to give a quick thank you to Board Member Cummings. I remember when you started the food drive years ago during the Martin Luther King festivities and celebrations and reflections, and that continues to this day. So that is very appreciated, and you're so right. There are a lot of people that really need support, and so glad to be able to help with that whenever we can. The last thing I wanted to share is that, we'll leave it at that for tonight. Can always save something for next time, right? Our work session times. I just wanted to get a sense from the board. I think that the more we can have processes in place that are predictable, it's going to help us with all of the planning that we need to do for all of the things we need to get done. We maybe talked a little bit informally about looking to we have a definite start time. We start at 9 a.m. I think that that's a good time to begin because we need to give our staff the opportunity to get ready and be prepared and be with us. On the backside of that, I think that if we could all come to an agreement of a more definite ending time, this would ensure that the agenda, the work session items reflect as much as we can get done during that amount of time so that we don't end up not being able to address work session items, which, they are publicly advertised. If a member of the public shows up and that's something they wanted to know more about and then we don't cover it, I really want to try to avoid that, and maybe the rest of the board does too. I hope so. So my proposal would be, let's look at starting at 9 and looking to stop at 1:30. It would give staff the opportunity then to backwards plan for the things that really need to be the priority. The way I've always understood it, it's kind of the superintendent's work session, and items are presented to us as a board, and we get to ask our questions and so on, and then, we vote on that the following week a lot of times. So just want to get a sense of the board, from the rest of the board on how you feel about that.
Dr. Brewer, did you have anything you wanted to add before the board discusses?
I don't have anything to add.
Okay. Board, do you guys have comments regarding Board Member Thrower's perspective?
Sure.
Dr. Campbell?
Thank you. I think the predictability of the timing that Board Member Thrower has shared will help in so many different ways, including our staff being able to actually go back and do some work. There are times that we might go 3 o'clock or so, depending on what the topic might be, and there might be another meeting scheduled in this room very soon after that has to be reset. And so I think that there's a lot of value in the predictability of what that looks like. I know in the upcoming spring term, traditionally I do teach a class at 2 or 2:30 on a Thursday, and that's going to be happening again. So I would love the idea of the full board saying, okay, we're going, and oftentimes we're starting at 7 a.m., so, or potentially 8 a.m., depending on what that looks like as well. But if we're willing to say, if we'll do special work sessions if we need to, which this board is never shy in doing that either, but to have the predictability of saying that our traditional Thursday work sessions would end at 1:30, I think that would help our community, I think that would help our staff, and certainly help us as board members as well.
Okay, Dr. Campbell, thank you for that. Reverend Cummings?
I concur. If we were the type of board that only showed up on every other Tuesday, every other Thursday, maybe, but we're a working board. Some of us have other jobs and things that we do in the community. We're in the schools. We're out and about, and we're meeting with staff. We're doing different things. So to have that kind of set down helps us to make our schedules better. And it helps our staff. Oftentimes we have our staff sitting here waiting or in their office. Even if they're in their office and they're watching, they're still waiting. And so that's that's not being efficient with our time or their time either. So if we can be through 1:30, 2 o'clock, that sounds a whole lot better. And then it doesn't pencil us, box us in, and there's only so many hours in a day. There's only so many hours in a day, so. Okay.
Thank you. Board Member Conrad, did you have thoughts?
Sure, I can get on board with that. I think there's also room for improvement in our presentation, and I don't want to get into the weeds, Dr. Brewer, but one of the things I look at is the structure of the presentations for work sessions. I think that's something that can be looked at with your staff so that it's a little more streamlined. Some presentations are 40 or 50 slides, some are 20. If we could just narrow down the information that's presented to us so we can move at a good pace, it might be beneficial. And that is just a suggestion. I hand that off to you. But I think there's several things we can look at to really streamline and prioritize what we're presenting and working on work session days. And so I'm on board with having a definite stop time. That's okay with me. There's a lot of work to do, and so it's hard.
Madam Chair, can I say something behind that?
Sure.
There was a point, and Ms. Thrower, Dr. Campbell, you were here on the board as well, where staff was I don't want to say harassed, but I'm going to say harassed with the number of questions and the things that were coming forth, and it was just crazy. And so in an attempt to rectify that, staff went overboard and gave overkill to try to answer every potential question that would come from a board member. I think we have a different board. I think we have the ability to get with our staff prior to a work session or a board meeting and to get those answers to those questions ahead of time. So sometimes I sit here and say, oh God, it's 55 slides. How fast are they going to get through this? And we all can read, and we're reading it, and some things the public needs to hear, but some things it doesn't need to be that overkill.
Okay, well, I will add comment. As chair, what I will say is I think hard stops are really hard to navigate as the chair, because we need to ensure that the agenda is not loaded with enough items that would make starting that final item a challenge to complete by a 1:30 deadline. So as chair, I would say I would struggle to commit to 1:30 as a hard stop, because if we're in the middle of an agenda item, we're obviously going to need to complete the work that we're in the middle of. I guess I would first want to understand how the board feels about that.
Since I brought it up, having been chair twice, I think that it's very doable. I think that it largely depends on two things. First of all, we need to be very intentional about our conversations, and also on the superintendent's piece of it, again, it being, essentially your work session, you're bringing things to us to discuss, that those items are backward planned so that we're covering information based on when it needs to be covered, the timeline, and then also staying on point as a board to get the job done. And it's a fine balance, because the presentations need to be scaled to be sharing enough information so that between the work session and then when we vote the following week, we have even more time to get our questions answered and so on, but also be in-depth enough, to provide the detail. I would propose, let's give it a try. We can always say as a board, hey, we need to move this along so that we can complete it because it's 1 o'clock. It may take a little bit of practice, but I think in the end, it will benefit all of us.
Okay. So in that, if that is I think we need to look at the work session there. We already have a work session scheduled for the 22nd, that the agenda is already, it's obviously not published yet. It will publish Thursday, but that agenda is already planned, and the work of the board and the work of the district has already gone in to prepare for that work session. I I guess speaking on behalf of the superintendent, I would say that I would not want to institute this new rule of thumb ahead of an agenda that staff is already tirelessly prepared for.
Absolutely.
And then the following agenda is an agenda in which the board made a commitment to discuss the superintendent's contract, as well as board member districts and all residency districts. And then also, there was already an agenda item that needed to be discussed that maybe it's 250 and something else. And so, my request would be that, our new practice would not go into play until after the board work session, the next two work sessions, which we've already pretty much predetermined, and what needs to be addressed.
I'm good with that.
Okay? Is that fine, Board Member Thrower?
We've already talked about that, so that's cool.
Okay.
My only other little hesitation for that is that the superintendent's contract is so important that I'm not, if there's, and how fast of a timeline do we really have to be on for this?
I can speak to that if we'd like.
Well, it was kind of a rhetorical question. I think we have till the end of April.
We do, April 28th.
Yes, April 28th. So, just as a board member, I would feel a lot more comfortable having the superintendent's contract be a standalone item, even if we had to schedule an extra work session to discuss it. It's really important, and I would prefer greatly to just focus on that and make sure our I's are dotted, our T's are crossed, our conversation is deep, and get it done. But that's what I have to say.
Okay. Well, certainly I can bring that up in comments to try to schedule a separate board work session if that's what we want to do. That's fine with me. I know you had other comments, I imagine, tonight.
That was pretty much wrapping it up as far as the other items that are already, in the hopper. That absolutely makes perfect sense, to not start with this until after those are completed.
Does that conclude your comments? Because I have some business stuff, so I'll add that to my business list.
Okay, yep.
Okay.
I believe it does.
Okay, perfect. Well, then I'm going to,
Dr.
Dr.
James,
Brewer, I apologize.
I'd like to just comment on the February 5th work session. There's only one other item on that agenda, and that's the downtown property, just for perspective.
Okay. Is that a time pressing matter? No.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so maybe we just move that, and then the only items for the February 5th are the superintendent contract and board member residencies.
Great.
Would that meet what you're looking to accomplish too, Board Member Thrower?
Well, yes, for myself, but the rest of the board.
Yes, it's good.
Okay. Well, if we're able to just move that singular item, Dr. Brewer, then we can just reserve the February 5th for the work of the board itself and those two items. And if we don't get to residencies, we can always kick that can a little bit further down the road.
Been 6 years. What's another couple of weeks?
So we'll make that change, Board Member Thrower, and then that should reserve that work session exclusively for that item. I think an Attorney Powers may have reached out to everyone to schedule some one-on-one time. I will address my business stuff to start off the meeting. So we handled the work session for the 5th. Special off-air meetings, board. We historically have had Ms. Martinez Young publish those for a 7 a.m. special board meeting ahead of our work session, every work session that is scheduled. The cost of that publication is somewhere just south of $50, I believe, right, Ms. Martinez? Well, she's talking about, I think it's like $46, $43 to publish that work session. I believe since Dr. Curley took his job in the summer, we have canceled every single one of them except for 2 for an entire half of the year. I say that point to say that we have essentially wasted about $600 in scheduling a meeting that then we cancel because we don't need it because the disciplinary off-air is unnecessary and parents have not contested their consequence. So we received an email today about, we only have 3 scheduled for next Thursday, and the request to meet at 8 a.m. After consulting with the attorney, he and I both agree that we've already published that meeting for 7 a.m., and while it's not a public meeting, the public does attend, because the parents who come are the public. And so it would be in the board's best interest to maintain the 7 a.m. start time for next Thursday. However, I have a workaround for going forward, because I do understand and appreciate the request not only from the board, but also from staff for some flexibility with these start times. These meetings are special school board meetings that need 3-day notice. So the way of work could change so that Ms. Martinez-Young no longer is publishing any special school board meetings ahead of work sessions. And then on a day like today, by 5 p.m. or whatever time staff sets, Dr. Curley would communicate to Ms. Martinez-Young the necessity for a meeting, which then she could publish by Wednesday at noon. That would then be in the Gazette on Friday. That publication on Friday would meet the 3-day publication deadline for the following Thursday. And then essentially we could set the time based on the caseload, or not meet at all if there's no need for the meeting. But board, I didn't want to make that decision on my own at all. I wanted us to be able to have a discussion about it. So in layman's terms, essentially what that would mean is all of our future 7 a.m. meetings are canceled, and we're no longer going to publish them. And then based on the necessity for a special school board meeting, staff would either decide we start at 8 or we start at 7, based on how many students we would see. Essentially 15 minutes per student, so anything more than 4 would meet at 7 a.m., and then 4 or less would meet at 8 a.m. If you're comfortable with that ratio, and then that meeting would get scheduled, it would meet all publication deadlines, and then we would get a calendar invite. So we'll start there, board. How do we have feelings related to that?
I like it. It sounds much more logical than what we've been doing, so I actually like that solution.
Okay. Dr. Campbell?
Yeah, that's fine. It is funny to hear us. I am grateful that we are considering pinching these pennies and that we've lost $600 and that we're trying to save that money. I am grateful for every single penny that we're going to pinch. And so it is interesting just knowing that we have a $1.3 billion budget that we're trying to save that $600. But I completely agree with the logic behind what we're trying to accomplish.
Okay. Reverend Cummings, do you have thoughts?
I can get on board. I can go with it to see how this works out.
Okay.
There could be potential scheduling problems if you're saying we're going to get 3 days notice.
No, we're going to get about 8 days notice. So we'll be noticed. We'll know on Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, the week before the Thursday meeting. So right now, the expectation is we're here at 7 a.m. And then typically on Wednesday, we get notification the meeting's been canceled. Or we get a notification that says there is one student showing up, like the last time, and then the parent didn't arrive. So then we were all here at 7 a.m., the parent didn't arrive. If we did it in this new system, that meeting would have been scheduled for 8 a.m., and then that parent wouldn't have arrived, but we're within an hour of the meeting start time instead of 2 hours of our standard meeting start time.
Because that calendar time is already blocked out for the work session.
Correct.
Correct. So if that's already on our calendar.
Board Member Thurr, did you have thoughts?
I'm for anything that increases efficiency, and if it saves a little money too, if someone handed me $600, I'd be happy.
Yeah, me.
Okay.
Get a refrigerator.
So Ms. Martinez-Young, the way I understand earlier today, and correct me if I'm wrong, we have not advertised yet and done publications for the February work sessions. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so then we will no longer be doing publications for these 7 a.m. meetings in February and going forward?
Okay, so just to clarify, when will I be getting notification to make sure that these publications are done?
I will make sure that Dr. Curley, Mr. Whitehouse, and Dr. Brewer have effective communication with you regarding what that timeline looks like.
Thank you.
Yep.
This is my concern. I don't want it to be on Ms. Martinez if that information is not gotten to her in time.
I completely concur. So I feel confident staff will be able to come up with an effective timeline that is at least on the evening before the Wednesday noon publication deadline. Okay. Board, I want to remind you, I think most of you are intending to attend the FCA breakfast, which is in 2 weeks at 7 a.m. I look forward to you all coming and participating in that fellowship. I wanted to make mention that potentially we could have the Public Relations Department create a quick PSA regarding how the changes in our public comment policies. That might be helpful to have our new forms, the fact that there you can actually complete your public comment form online and submit it via email, so you do not have to be here by 5:40 p.m. because you can submit it via email the day before and meet that expectation. So I don't know if that's possible, but before our next meeting, if we could get a little PSA posted, I think that that would be helpful. Thank you, Dr. Campbell, for that kind of reminder that triggered my memory. Regarding the pedestrian safety, one of the things that I have mentioned, and Board Member Conrad, seeing as you sit on the intergovernmental committee, I have mentioned that I think it would be helpful as a community if during our intergovernmental meeting this spring, we have discussions about pedestrian safety. Because while sidewalks and other things are very important, I think we also as a community have an obligation to have discussions about our pedestrians and the way in which they are maneuvering their own body on our roadways. Living off on the north end, traveling Jacksonville Road on a regular basis, the number of pedestrians has increased tremendously on the north end, traveling south into town on Jacksonville Road. And while getting sidewalks in town is great, as I was talking to Chief Balkin the other day, I said, you know, there are so many pockets of our community that safe access for walkability is still a significant barrier. And I think that as a joint meeting between the county, the school board, all of the cities, for us to sit down and have a true collaborative conversation about what does pedestrian safety look like for all of us, and how can we continue to work on that as a collaborative unit. I don't think any one organization needs to take complete ownership of what is, I would consider a catastrophe in our community. We are having so many pedestrian fatalities in this community. Some are pedestrian owned and some are vehicle owned. But regardless, people are dying in our community because they are traveling on our roadways by foot or by bike. And so a collaborative community conversation I think would be wonderful. And not only highlighting the work the city is doing, but beyond just the city, because obviously the county has lots of roadways that have very little accessibility. I want to thank Ms. Slaughter for her comments about college and application process. Similar to yourself, you know, I was a multi-generational college applicant, and so understanding the process for college application was not something that was new to me. You know, my parents knew how to do it. But similar to you, I had many friends who were going to be first-time college accepted in their family tree. And my husband the same. He's the first person in his entire family tree to attend a four-year university. And so it looks different for people who are doing it for the first time. And I know our senior counselors are having one-on-one meetings as seniors come in to their senior year and having meetings talking about what their plan is. But it definitely seems like there is room to formalize potentially what that looks like, how that conversation looks. I know years back when I was at Bellevue High School as an administrator, when we were really focused on the 3 E's, we had probably a more designated pathway to define where students were going and how they were electing their next steps. So I think this is a great opportunity to dig in a little bit and talk about what it looks like and how we can make it better. So I appreciate your feedback. I wanted to acknowledge the REC. We did all receive, or most of us, I guess, received that letter. Board Member Thurr, we can make sure it lands in your inbox for sure.
Yeah, I was kind of mortified.
But I invited them to come, and we had a productive conversation with Mr. Whitehouse, myself, and Lynn and Bridget Smith. We were able to sit down and have a productive conversation about the process, where we are, where we're going, and how the board collectively has landed in the position that we have landed in. But I will say that one of the most productive things I found, similar to Board Member Conrad, is the ability to have productive discourse. So the REC represents one of many organizations in our community, and I would encourage any organization who has leadership that is feeling uneasy or feeling confused about the way of the work of the school board to reach out, and one of us, if not many of us, would be more than willing to sit down and have discourse to talk about where we are and where we're headed. So thank you for that opportunity. I will conclude my comments tonight by mentioning Miss Brower at Waimea Park Elementary. So if you don't know her, you should know her because she's really a true gem. She put something on Facebook and I connected with her over Christmas break, and she was doing a drive for quarters and laundry soap because the students at Waimea Park needed support in making sure that their clothes were clean when they returned from Christmas break. So I had the pleasure of joining her at Berkeley Point with her SRO and a few of her staff members with my daughters, and we were able to participate in that activity. And I think it is so important for our community to remember that while many of us are taking a 2-week or 2-week plus, really 2-week plus 2 days, maybe vacation or time away where you're living in abundance and enjoying the charisma of Christmas, there are some students and many people in our community who are not having as joyous of an experience, and returning to school is one of the best things for them because they're able to get meals and they're able to get back into a solid routine. And so I wanted to acknowledge not only her efforts, because that was her vacation time as much as anyone else, but it highlighted for me something I already knew, but that we need to continue to work as a collective organization, not just us, but the other nonprofits. I had a conversation with Rondo and the Rock and the Mobile Rock, and how can we continue to get the nonprofits to come together to very strategically support our community. Because oftentimes I think our nonprofits are working in silos and we are not necessarily all working towards a similar mission, which we all are on the same path, but how could we more strategically use our resources to ensure that not just our students but our community are fully supported? So I wanted to make sure that I acknowledged her because her work in that community does not go unnoticed. So with that, I believe that will conclude the comments for tonight's meeting. There being no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Board Member Conrad, second by Board Member Campbell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. This meeting is adjourned at 7:45. Thank you, Board.